So today we're going to teach you how to turn this with blown out bushings and just completely terrible into this. And now that I'm looking at it, I may have this bushing in backwards. Maybe not. We'll figure it out. Anyway, so this garbage into this control arm SC300, 400, and I think Supra. So we'll show you how to do it. So the first step is get out your pressure washer. This is one I bought from Swap Meet for I think 60 bucks. And then get some of this LA Awesome, get it at the Dollar Tree I think. And then spray the shit out of your control arm. Now, probably shouldn't be doing this on my front lawn, but I don't have any lawn. Spray it all down, works pretty good, and pressure wash it off. Then if your hose is leaking and spraying a nice fountain everywhere, just go to Harbor Freight and get a new hose end. 30 minutes and one hose repair later, we're ready to go back to pressure wash. Now that it's clean mostly and not dry, we're gonna have to get these bushings out. Now I know everyone sets them on fire, but that's kind of not what really we're gonna do. Also needs a new ball joint boot. I'll have to order one up on eBay. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna knock this out. Hopefully it's loose enough. And they should be, since they suck on every single one of them. Hit it with the hammer. Alright, super easy. Now we're going to show you the next part. So once you got your torch going, it's a long process. You don't want to heat the bushing up because you don't want to light it on fire on the inside, right? What you want to do is you want to heat it up and then it'll separate. So we'll show you how to do it. You just set it down here like this on the outside of the bushing. Don't aim it inside. You don't want the rubber to burn off in your face. And only do this if it's a solid bushing. Don't ever use it on liquid filled bushings. That's not good. So we'll heat this up, and then when it gets close, I'll show you. Now, you will get some like little flame ups like that, but what you're really listening for is the popping, right? The popping is going to be the rubber heating up and melting and separating from the housing. That's what you're going to listen for. So I got the torch set at an angle. Yeah, you got a little bit of residual, but I'll show you. It literally just comes right off. So you just scrapes right out. All right, that's a little too much rubber burning. But let's go ahead and blow it out. I know rubber doesn't like to go out, but let's see if we can get it out. Now, if you did it correctly, you'll be left with some stuff like this in here, and this can all be just scraped out. Use your flat screwdriver or your pick. And the worst case scenario is if there is a little bit, you just burn it out. You're going to clean it up with a wire brush anyway. So the goal is just to get, save your trouble. You don't want to mess with goop and stuff later on, because it does kind of turn gooey if it gets too hot and you try to get it out with a brush or sandpaper. All right, now that you got it mostly out, now's the time to set fire to the rubber and burn it all out. Shouldn't be much anyway. See how it's just a little bit, because you should have already got it all out. Shouldn't stay on fire for very long, and should make cleaning up with the wire brush easier later on. And then when you set it on fire like this and it doesn't, well, try to set it on fire and all it does is glow, not really flame up, that's when you're pretty much done. The rest of that's going to come off really, really easy with a wire brush. Now, if you only had one bushing to do, you'll be fine. But if you're on the SC300, 400, I think the Supra too, like me, then you've got one more side to do. Now flip it over. Once you're on the other side, you'll see these little rubber tabs like that. You want to break those off because those are definitely going to catch fire at some point. Because basically what we're going to do here is we're going to heat up the outer shell on this one and knock it out. It should come out super easy. I did it before, and you basically get 2 halves of a shell like this, and then shouldn't be much left in there after that. So we're going to do that now. Now we're on the other side. Now we're going to put the torch here right next to the bushing, and you're going to hear it start to pop and sizzle once it heats its way all the way up through and starts getting that rubber. So right now you can tell it's boiling. So now is when you want to smack it out of there. Then if you've done it right, it comes out. There's one half, there's the other half. Come in here with your screwdriver. Oh, that's gonna be hot. Kind of just start picking out the shell on the other side. I can't do it with one hand. So literally half a second later, the shell's out. There's still rubber in there. Now that's not a lot to set on fire, but we are gonna burn it out. And then should make scraping it out easier, but it should come out pretty easy with a screwdriver and this torch. It's really hard to do with one hand, so we're gonna be back at it. All right, so now you're back at your handy table thanks to waste management, and we need to clean up these bushings in here. We need to try to get as much rubber out, clean up this because we want to paint it. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to clean it, wire brush it, and then get it ready for paint. So I hit it up first with the 60 grit and then went to the 150. Looks all right, but it's good enough for bushings to go in, so we'll go ahead and paint the arm up. All right, now that we got our table set back up, you're gonna have 2 bushings. One's big one, it's gonna go in like this, not like whatever was over there, and then the other one will be right here. Now I have gloves on because these are going to get greasy, and you'll see that there's little splines in here. I think these are, yeah, these have little grooves, and this has splines. You want to stick the grease in there, then stick the bushing in. Big ones for the little one, little ones for the big one. Stick them in there. I tend to grease these up too, just because it doesn't really hurt. I mean, the bushings might spin in there. Let's eliminate the squeaking noise, right? In here, bushing, squeaky noise, wrong bushing, other bushing, squeaky, 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 right? So we're gonna grease it up, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. So now that I put the grease in, you might need a little gentle persuasion to get the bushing in. You're not going to split it, so don't worry about that. Make sure this is somewhat clean. Stick it in there. I like to rotate it, sticking it in. Gets all the grease in the little grease grooves, like that. So I'll show you what it looks like in a second. Now if you rotated it where you're putting in, you're going to get grease that squirts out everywhere, because let's be honest, those grooves not very big. We're going to clean that up a little bit. Did need to use a little persuasion to get it in. Let's show you. There's the arm. That is number 2. So I just got to get this boot in stock. Some say you can use some older boots. I don't have any, so I had to order some up. I ordered these bushings. Unfortunately, they only come in a kit with a whole bunch of them, and this is a really large, I'm sorry, not bushings, boots for the ball joint. It's a really large size, and unfortunately, that's kind of what you get. And it does smush all the way down. There's a collar all in there, but you need to add grease, and the best way I can do it is add it to the Ziploc baggie, and then obviously retie it with the original one. It'll probably break in 2, but you can wrap it around once, it'll be fine. Anyway, Ziploc baggie, cut a hole in the bottom, squeeze it through the hole into the boot, and that should put grease back into it. Obviously the best action is to drill a hole in the bottom out of the Zerk fitting if you can, but I just don't want to mess with this one, so we'll just do it this way.